Good afternoon, ladies, gentlemen, boys, and girls. Just going to shoot this link to our Slack. All right, today, I want to send this to one other virtual blue guy that I have been talking to here. Or one other, VA guy I've been talking to. Let's see. There we go. All right. So, today let's talk about takeoffs and something we at Virtual Blue affectionately, or disaffectionately as it were, refer to as VS lock. If I had $1 for every time a pilot said to me, "What VS should I have? What VS do I do? What VS? What VS? What VS on takeoff?" It's not about that. You can set a range once you get, past your acceleration height, once you're at 250 knots, you can set whatever VS, you wind up at, and then calculate out to your top of climb. But for starters, let's go into files. Every aircraft is set to, has its V speeds, right? Takeoff is all about the V speed. So I'm going to set up the A320. I'm going to load her up to max takeoff. Maybe I'll do a little bit. I'll load her up to max landing weight, which would be 146,000 pounds, right? So we're going to take off. Our V1 is going to be 134, which means I'm going to set 129 in Infinite Flight Assistant. By the way, guys, Virtual Blue is powered by the in-flight suite of apps by John Goring. Check them out on the Google Play and iOS app stores. So we're going to take off. We're going to do V1, 129, because the call out comes 5 knots prior. We're going to rotate at 140, right? V2 is 142, and this is for flaps 1, right? V2 is 142, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to go V2 plus 10 to 15. The Airbus, I believe, uses V2 plus 10 as the minimum speed. A lot of Boeings. I might even have it here in the files. A lot of Boeings. Do I have pitch? Nope. Hey, here we go. So here we go, right? This is what you do. You're not looking for vertical speed when you initially take off. You're looking for a pitch and an airspeed or indicated airspeed, right? So at rotation on, let's just say, the 777-200 or 300 ER, you start pulling back. 4 seconds later, you should be between 7 and 9 degrees pitch. You get positive rate, and 2.5 seconds or so later, you should be 35 feet above the ground at about 14 degrees pitch, and you should be maintaining V2 plus 15, right? Now, we always do reduced thrust takeoffs at Virtual Blue, because if you go to 100% thrust in the A321, you're going to be at 200 knots and like nothing flat. You might need that on a short runway, but for the most part, you don't really need that, right? Let's see what else we got here that we have. Here's a good one that's flown a lot, 737-600 to 900 ER. Rotate 3 seconds, 7 to 9 degrees pitch. V2 plus 15 will be 15 to 16. So similar thing for the Airbus. We look for V2 plus 10 to 15. We do 15. It pitches out a little bit better, right? Sorry, I had to take a sip of my water. Anyways, so let's pop into the sim and let's show how to get rid of VS lock, right? Let's just do a regular old takeoff. I'm going to pop into Boston in the A320-200. JetBlue livery. JetBlue, just use a ferry flight number, 6911. Okay. And I want to just shoot, what are they using? They're using 4s right now. So, wait a minute. 310 and 18. Oh, for the love. All right, I'm going to pop in, then I'm going to go into solo mode. I'm not going to bother doing this on live because it's just a takeoff tutorial. So I'm just going to grab the wind. 310 at 8, gusting 14. So we'll take off 3-3 right. Okay, and I'm just going to fly. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to back out of this and go into solo mode so that I got the wind. Although I did crank it up yesterday because of that storm. I might show that replay as a little trick at the end. So I'm going to set up for takeoff. 3-3 left. Here we go. I'm going to put the brakes on. So we're 147.5. I'm going to drop the weight down a little bit to just max landing weight, just in case we want to go around do a landing. We're good there. What I need to do real quick is just pop up here. Right, do that. Flaps 1. Excuse me. Flaps 1. Is this working? So it's connected. Let's see if Mark's awake. Nope, Mark is not awake. Oh, I hate it when this happens. Alright, so we get back out of it and try it again. So let's close everything out here except for Omelet. Start Infinite Flight Assistant. Start Infinite Flight. There he is. Should be the same wind. Takeoff 3-3 left. 32200. I should be at the same weight, theoretically speaking. Okay, let's just do a calibration. Start here. No, always does that. It drops in 147. So whatever. Okay, we can do it. We can go 148. Let's say 148 for the takeoff. I'm gonna grab the speeds off of my phone, because I have the speeds on my phone. So 148 on the weight will give us 148,000 pounds. Flaps 1. Flaps 1. There you go. Thank you, Mark. Sometimes I have to kick Mark, make sure he's awake. So I'm looking at a V1 of 135, a VR of 141, a V2 of 143. So what I do when I'm at the gate, right, as part of my flight prep, when I'm at the gate, if I can get this here where I want it, right, so usually when I'm at the gate, engine shut down, nothing's running on, right, I set my V speeds to go, right, and if you watch takeoff videos, you don't hear V2 called out very much anymore. Certainly not in the Airbus. So we're at 148,000 pounds. So it's 135, but I'm going to put 130 because you're accelerating, and that call out comes 5 knots prior. And then VR is 141. And then we're going to do V2 is 143. So I'm going to put in set speed 158. Set speed 158. And then I just kind of do that. I usually do that when I'm at the gate, right? So my initial pitch out is going to be to 7 degrees, which is, can't really show you, but it's going to be right about there. So my initial pitch is going to come up in between the first 2 numbers, right? I don't have the touches on, I apologize. Okay? I'm going to set my trim. I usually use about 33 to 37, depending on how heavy I am and what I'm using. SimBrief gives pretty good numbers for takeoff that are almost exactly what we have in the chart here, right? Same numbers. SimBrief will give you those numbers for takeoff. Excuse me. And, they work pretty well. The only thing that adjusts a little bit is the V1 for the runway. So 170% load, I'm going to use about 92% N1, which is 85%, 86% on the power lever here. So I'm looking for 86% power, 92% N1. So I'm going to pitch off. I'm going to get positive rate, right? I'm going to hold that 7 degrees, get positive rate. We'll get the gear tucked in, and then we will keep on pitching to about 15 degrees, nose up, and we're going to pitch to maintain 158 knots, right? We want between 153 and 158 is what we want, okay? Not even going to discuss vertical speed, because I don't care what the vertical speed is until I hit my thrust reduction altitude, which is 1,500 feet, I'm holding 158 knots. And again, Airbus, I believe, the speed reference system, if you've ever watched an Airbus takeoff, when they push the throttles up and they click them into the detent for takeoff, if it's not a full power takeoff, they call it a flex or reduced power takeoff. So they'll say, man flex, SRS, runway, auto thrust, right? What that basically means is the flex temperature for the thrust setting is set, right? The SRS is what we're going to focus on. It's the speed reference system. The air, regular, all the flight sims and every aircraft that has a flight computer or guidance computer has a flight director, right? And the Airbus flight director, when it's in SRS mode, pitches you to maintain V2 plus 10 to be V2 plus 15, right? Usually that's between 15 and 20 degrees, depending on the weight of the aircraft. I mean, everything depends on the conditions, okay? So we'll climb to 5,000, say, right? When we get to 1,500 feet AGL, so I'm looking for about 1,575, 1,530 here, right? We're already 27 feet above. I'm going to pull the power back, lower the nose, back down to about 10 degrees, 8 to 10 degrees, and I'm going to let the plane accelerate naturally to 250 knots on its own, without jamming the power up or down or anything like that. Just going to let her keep on trucking naturally, right? Pitch for speed. Once we get to 250, at that point, that's when I'll punch in the auto thrust and I'll also lock my vertical speed wherever it might happen to be. Usually it's around 2,200, 2,400, depending on how heavy the plane is. All right, so let's roll. Okay, gonna power up, 50%. Brakes are coming off, sticks forward, coming to 86 here. We'll try 85, that's usually right about. A little more, there we go, 85. Thrust is set. Just gonna maintain center line. 100 knots is checked. V1, gust, rotating, 7.5, right? Holding it, holding it, holding it. Retract gear. Keep it coming to 15, even if you need a little more trim. Now it's gusty winds here, so this isn't gonna work very well. But see how I'm right on it? If I turn the wind off, I'd probably be right at 158, right? I'm looking for 1525 to 1527, right? Okay, thrust reduction. Gonna accelerate now. That was a little bit much. I haven't even looked at my vertical speed yet. Pro tip, the faster you go, the less trim you're going to need. Right? What I didn't check was my S speed, or my flaps up speed. I'm going to look at that right now. We got to be close to it. For 148, 199 I'm looking for. So 199, right? These gusts are killing me. I'm going to turn the gusts off. Sorry, guys. There we go. 199, flaps, 0 degrees. Flaps, 0 degrees. Whatever. Right? Just going to accelerate naturally here, right? I'm going to adjust the trim a little bit back. Keep that pitch between 8 and 10 degrees and keep the speed accelerating. JetBlue 6911, you're cleared to 14,000. Climb and maintain to 14,000. Now, okay, 245, right here, punching in the auto thrust, locking in my vertical speed, right? And that's where I'm going to stay until I hit about 10,000. Right, once I hit 10,000, I could actually shoot around and get onto the star here, I think. Where are we? I'll even reduce vertical speed sometimes. Pretty much don't want much more than autumn, winter. There's Islay. I'm just gonna hold this heading right quick. I'm not really flying a flight plan right now. Tech, Camley, Highland. So if I come around here, I could try to do one of these. If I do like a, let's go 260. All right, now once we get to 10,000, we all know what we can do above 10,000. The A320 is landing lights off. Right? Now watch this. Turn your auto thrust off. Bring your vertical speed down to about 2,200. Bump your power by 2 or 3 degrees. Okay, now you're accelerating to 300 knots. Right? We're going to accelerate to 300. And what I'm going to try to do is come around and land. Actually, I'm going to do another takeoff demonstration without the wind gusts. Okay, I'm going to even come down to 2,000 now. Notice I'm not doing anything. I'm just letting that speed climb naturally. I'm not jamming the throttle. Just letting it climb nice and easy. Right, 295, so 6, 7, 8, 9, 3, come down to 18, neutralize my trim. Kind of let it stabilize. It'll pick up to 300 again. So, I'm going to come back around, and I'm going to head for autumn here. Here we go, autumn. Actually, I won't even do that. I'll just show you guys another takeoff. But that's it. I'm in the climb now, and what I would do is I would find on my flight plan, right? Okay, so technically speaking, we're going out of Boston. So say my top of climb was this waypoint, or probably wouldn't be that close, but say I'm going to flight level 360, right? And I'm going to Ebert, right? And my top of climb is there. I would do, we're at 14,000, and I'm going to, we'll just double it. I'll say I'm going to 280, right? I divide 14,000 by 13 minutes and 40 seconds, and I get my vertical speed that I need to get to my top of climb. So I'm going to show one more takeoff here, just for the purposes of this tutorial. What a beautiful day. Better, much better than yesterday in Boston. All right, so we have no gusts, no wind gusts this time. Go back to Boston, and we're going to do the takeoff one more time. This time, I'll tell you what, I'll load the plane right up. I'll go to max takeoff weight for the A320. So I'm going to calibrate. The brakes on, engines are running. am I looking for? Weight and balance. So let's go right up to 170. 162 passengers. 1, 2. And let's say we're going to 170. So we're at almost 100% load. So I got 46, 52, 54. And if I go flaps 2, I got 51, 51, 56. So, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I am going to go for flaps 1. Flaps 1. Mark doesn't want to pay attention. Okay, so we want it's 146, so we want 141, 152, and then set the V2 plus 10, so it's 154. So we go 150, 160, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 169 is going to be our speed to pitch to. Right? We want 169. Okay, calibrating. And power's coming up. Stabilized. This one I'm going to go to about 93%. So we are loaded. Knots checks. Ease the back pressure out. V1. Rotating. 7 degrees. Positive rate. Gears coming. Now see the speeds dropping? Right there at about 14, 15 degrees. It probably should have used about 95%. But remember, we're in that range, V2 plus 10 to 15. Right? So I'm right there, and I'm just pitching to maintain that speed. Right? I probably could have used 95%. I thought I had 95% on. If I had 95, I'd be good. Okay, thrust reduction, it's 1500. Go to 91. Get the nose coming down. Now watch the vertical speed on the bottom right of this altitude tape here. Right? I'm just going to hold the heading. As I speed up, my pitch will remain the same, but my vertical speed is going to increase. I'm not going to touch that pitch. Watch. I'm just going to keep that right at 10 degrees. And you're going to see the flight path vector actually catch up to the 10-degree pitch level. Right? See, we're already at 18. Right? Now I can start trimming out because it's hard to hold. See that? Our flaps up speed is going to be 214 knots. Right? See, we're at 10 degrees. We've already gained 600 feet per minute. But I got to keep that speed coming up. Right? When you got a heavy plane, it accelerates kind of slow. Okay, we're looking for 214 knots here. I'll even go down. Now look at, we're climbing at 2400. We've gained 1,000. You know, we've gained 40 knots of speed roughly, 69. Yeah, so we've gained about 40 knots of speed. All right, so we were just about to put the flaps up on this stream. Flaps 0 degrees. Right? And I'll let the pitch get away from me there a little bit. We were at 8 degrees pitch. go. So now I'm going to lock that vertical speed in. Now see, heavier weight, same pitch, I'm only at 2150. Hopefully I can do this as a part 2 on YouTube. And there we go. So it took us, let's see how many miles to get to 250 knots. 11 miles to get the climb profile going. I apologize for the cutout in the stream. I will try to see what happens with the omelet if it loads it up to YouTube. And we'll try again if we have to. Thanks for watching, and have a great day.